Dr. Randall, the Soul Doctor, author of Soul Doctoring, Heal Yourself, Heal the Planet, shares her 40 years of experience as a cross-cultural practitioner, medical futurist, and expert in 20 different modalities of healing, along with amazing interviews with some of the leading minds in medicine and big thinkers in all walks of life. The stories of our lives are the woven energies of our soul's paths. They feed and ignite the spiritual light that nourishes the universal soul, the one mind, the cosmic consciousness where we all come together. This podcast is going to be a deep dive into the personal stories of people who have made significant contributions to the planet. What formed them? What moved them to become these leaders and innovators that inspire us so? Hi, Larry.
Hello there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited and honored to be with you for this.
Thank you. Likewise. But I get to be honored by you at least once a week because you're my inspiration and fitness trainer as well. So I'm just going to tell my listeners a little bit about you, if that's okay.
Thank you.
So Larry is Chief Inspiration Officer and founder of Genesis Performance and Fitness. He's just amazing. He coaches you not in just how to work out, but how to live and how to eat and how to live your life in a better way. He calls himself a messenger who raises the vibration of human experience. I really like that. He tells people how physical shifts in their mind and body can create optimal human functioning. He feels he's an entrepreneur, and he is. I think that comes from your dad, doesn't it? Or is that just something that you are?
Yes. As a young child, I knew I wanted to enter the business with my father, and he mentored me as a businessman and entrepreneur. And I learned an enormous amount from him about business and about just being a good human. Awesome.
Well, we'll get back to that. Larry is a multitasker. He's a can-do guy. And I've seen this about him. He thrives on serving, and that's one of the highest things we can do. That's why we come here to this planet, is to serve others, is to care for other souls. He's very good at working as a team. He has a very high performance quality and integrity, kind of old school at the same time as new school, because he likes new stuff. He has a genuine passion for life, positivity, and success on a personal level. He got his MBA from Pepperdine, and he owned and managed a very successful boutique-type gym in Oak Park, starting in 2001. And in 2011, he was recruited by Beachbody. Is that correct?
It was a certification program for fitness professionals and fitness enthusiasts, themed behind the in-home gym brand called P90X. It was very revolutionary at the time. Now we have so many digital downloads of fitness. It was a 90-day program. Tony Horton was the trainer and guy behind the brand. And it was a progressive, comprehensive strength and nutrition program for at-home fitness advocates. There was and still is a very large community of people that prefer to work out at home.
I see.
And Beachbody was ahead of the curve at the time on that, and they brought Tony in to create that program. And then they received enormous demand from fitness professionals and from their community to increase their knowledge and expertise and actually learn how to teach and coach people in the P90X program. So we created a certification program which included some online learning and actually a 2-day live certification training, just as a spin instructor or yoga instructor today might get certified. And so we did that across the country and empowered a lot of people to help others with that program.
So then they took it home to do it?
So this started the transition of trying to get P90X into gyms, which it did for a period of time while they were still continuing to expand their base of programs that people could do at home. So it was both at home and in the gym community.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now I'm clear.
Cool.
Okay, so that was a certification program. And then that Larry is a NASM certified personal trainer. Please define that for my listeners.
National Academy of Sports Medicine is one of the highly accredited and acknowledged certification programs for personal trainers. They have multiple programs within the health and fitness industry, and that program spoke to me because it really was about functional training and helping people to gain strength and mobility, not just to get muscle, but to function in life without getting injured. And so I obtained that certification so that I could work with people one-on-one.
Cool. And he has over 20 years of experience in health and fitness industry. He's a gym owner, a personal trainer, nutritional trainer, lifestyle advisor, and just honestly, he's just a super guy. I have to tell you. He's passionate about wellness. He believes in the holistic approach, which of course appeals to me. And he helps people improve the quality and quantity of their lives by educating them in the things that he knows so well. He has a desire and passion to lead and to innovate. He loves new things. I mean, we actually got involved in new things together. I brought him in and we worked together for a company or with a company called Willow, which is a future farming option. And I saw him go right to the bat on that. So that was cool. And he feels, and his health and wellness company is designed to truly help people live better and more well in their prime. So, and I told Larry one time, and I believe this to be true, he's a very balanced man in terms of his masculine and feminine side, despite the fact he's a hunk. he's still very balanced, and I find that just lovely.
Well, thank you very much. I'm blushing a little bit, and I'm grateful for the synopsis of your perception of me as a human and a person who cares about others and wanting to do good things this time around.
That's pretty accurate, don't you think?
I do. I think there's a lot more to be said, but we only have an hour.
So when did you first know you would go into this branch of service?
Well, it's a super interesting story. And, back then I thought it was accidental, but as we now know, there's no such thing as accidents. I grew up in the real estate development and construction world working with my father. As a result of that, I ended up doing a small tenant improvement job for a guy who had a karate studio in our community. I built a wall and did some things for him. Next thing you know, he asked me to build out a small gym. Next thing you know, I'm the owner of the gym and had to quickly learn how to manage a membership fitness studio. It was a hobby for a number of years. And as time went on, my passion for understanding how we thrive, understanding how we age, how does sleep affect us, how does stress, nutrition, how can we optimize our physical, mental, spiritual being, and spent years researching, working with others, growing my business. The membership gym moved 2 times. We grew in size. And then in 2014, I shifted the brand to what is now Genesis Performance. because I wanted to offer a more personalized, comprehensive approach to people. And I still am involved in real estate, but my heart and my passion is in health and vitality and longevity.
Tell me what it was like growing up. What were you like as a little kid? What did you want to grow up and be a fireman? What did you want to do?
Thank you. I'm very blessed. I grew up in a very nice community. I'm the youngest of three boys. My parents are very high achieving, and we all became Eagle Scouts. We all got graduate. We got undergraduate and graduate degrees. It was just something that you did. It was, we were challenged to be our best.
Yeah, you're my three sons, right?
Yes, we were definitely my three sons. That's for sure. And so I was given,
And where are you? Are you the baby? Or are you the middle?
I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of the three, and so I was always the like my brothers would be wrestling, and I would be the guy that would run down the hall and jump on top of them. We would go on family vacations. I was the first guy to jump off or jump into something. And so being adventurous became second nature to me. As far as business and career, my dad and I were very connected at an extremely young age, and there's stories behind that. And so I would follow him around the house doing home repairs, and because my dad was a general contractor, he grew up in the field, learning, how to build homes and so forth. And so I would follow him around and hand him tools and learn how to repair things. And then I knew that I wanted to join him in the business of building and development. And every summer I would work for him, and I would learn different trades of the business. I would sit with him at home at night, watching him read plans, architectural plans. And I just assimilated so much knowledge in those early years about that business. And we ended up going into business after I graduated college and becoming partners, and developed commercial and residential properties together. And it was a beautiful, beautiful partnership.
Nice. Let's go back to Larry, the trainer, the person that you are now, the innovator, the person that does what you do with people, that molds them. Can you tell us a story about someone who you thought maybe wouldn't make it and then had a great success?
Yes, fortunately there's plenty of people. I now feel that like performance coach encapsulates what I do, because yes, meeting with someone in the gym as we do, and I do with others, and we spend an hour or so X number of times a week. The gym and the movement to me is an impetus. It's an inspiration for other lifestyle and behavioral changes that are very often necessary for people to move the needle in health and vitality. The tagline of my business is live in your prime, right? And so what I do is I sit down with people and I'm like, hey, remember when you lived in your prime? What did that feel like? What were you doing? What was your mindset? What were your behaviors? And what happened between then and now? And we know those answers. It's life, it's stress, it's family. There's so many factors.
What do you call prime?
So, when you live in your prime, a lot of people go back to high school, or they go back to college, or their 20s. Living in your prime is a combination of feeling physically fit, having a positive, ambitious mindset, feeling that you can conquer the world, right? It's those limitless beliefs and actions of living an abundant life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my late 50s. I'm living in my prime now. Doesn't mean I didn't have versions of living in my prime when I was younger. And so I try to inspire people to reconnect to that global mindset of living in your prime. And then we identify the lifestyle issues that limit that.
Well, I feel like that. I feel like I'm living in my prime, and I just want to get stronger.
Absolutely. Strength.
In every way, mean,
yes.
But you know me, so.
Yes. Physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength are all important. So people can...
Well, so tell me about somebody that maybe came in and was not in that place that you and I are, and about their journey. And
sure. Again, there's many, but the first one that came to mind is a gentleman that lived in the community, came in the door, was 60, 70 pounds overweight. He was a banker, sat behind a desk all day long, young family, and knew that he was headed down a path that was not healthy. And it was affecting his work, it was affecting his health, it was affecting his relationships with his family. So we sat down, and we have a very comprehensive intake process. I want to understand everything that's going on in your life, A to Z. And we started addressing them. Number one is get them moving, right? Mm-hmm. It triggers feel-good hormones. All these things. And so, as I said before, getting people moving, and they don't have to come into my gym. I virtually coach people.
Tell my listeners what those things are. What, when you start exercising and moving, what?
Great. So again, it's not limited to a gym. Many people don't like to go to gyms, but it's important to move. And whether that means taking a walk, a hike, a swim, yoga classes, Pilates, getting the body moving is important from a physical standpoint in getting the limbs and the joints and the muscles moving and activated. But it also inspires better eating and better care for oneself, and creates a more positive emotional feeling. So what I do is I say, well, what is it that you like to do? If you're not a gym person, great. Well, I like to do X. So what we do is make sure that person their body is operating in a way where they can do that activity in a safe and successful way.
So what are some of the chemicals that will lift them up once they start doing that?
Well, I'm talking to the expert. We know brain chemistry can help make you feel good, or it can help make you feel angry and depressed. So elevating those help enormously. You and I also know that the gut and the gut bacteria and how it allows the cells to communicate has a direct effect on every aspect of the body's functioning. So obviously a strategic, healthful nutrition strategy is super important to create energy from the inside out.
But I'm sure you get a lot of people that come in and start working out and start feeling endorphins, right?
Absolutely.
And then those endorphins increase their dopamine and increase their oxytocin, and that makes them calmer, and the dopamine makes them brighter and smarter and increases their brain-derived neurotropic factor, which really does increase your brain function.
Yes, absolutely. Quick side note, if you remember the first time I did that neurotransmitter test with you, it was the numbers were very different than the person, the person's behavior. So I'm a big fan of all the testing, having more data about how your body is functioning biochemically, and addressing that as well as the movement and the nutrition, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People like to know that stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, and then that promotes them to lose weight, I would imagine.
Yes, there's a positive snowball effect, some synergy of positivity that occurs through movement, through making lifestyle shifts. My biggies are, a good eating strategy, mindset, and sleep quality. We know the importance of good quality sleep. And so depending on the individual and where the lowest hanging fruit is for them and the things that are limiting them living in their prime, we'll address those either, comprehensively while they're moving.
So getting back to your guy, what happened for him?
So we started working together consistently. He would come into the gym a couple times a week. There was constant check-in. In about a year and a half, he lost 75 pounds.
Wow.
During that journey, everything in life improved for him. His relationships at work, his relationships at home, his general energy and attitude towards life, his ability to be more playful with his kids. And he realized that, he was an old man. He was an old man trapped in a young person's body. And so we flipped that so that he felt youthful, energetically, at the same time of getting his body into a position and to a shape that inspired him and allowed him to not, be limited, not run out of breath going up a flight of stairs, being able to chase his kids around at the park. Mm-hmm. And that created just a great amount of joy for him. This was years ago. I bump into him now and then, and it's a blessing, for them to say, thank you, you've changed my life. And as you said in the intro, my goal is not only to change the quantity or extend the quantity of someone's life, but to extend the quality of it as well, which is important.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah, I think, quality, frankly, I'd take quality, but if you can get quantity and quality, then you've got the whole deal.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My current demographic that I'm working with more specifically are business owners, executives, because the demands are unique and they're substantial, right? And so it really boils down to a lot of behavioral and lifestyle challenges that we're able to help people virtually, which has been necessary of recent. But it's the same principles. Let's understand what behaviors are limiting, and let's make those changes.
Is it different working with corporate executives than, the guy on the street, so to speak?
Yes. I feel that executives are wired a little differently, a little more high-charged, somewhat of a slave to technology and to their business. And they generally, male and female, have kind of surrendered to the fact that this is the way things have to be so that I can manage and grow my business. And so my objectives are to get them to the point where, I love the saying, you can't give what you don't have. Right. And if you're a business owner and you're depleted and you're hammered and you're tired and you're burned out, you can't give encouragement and support and motivation to your team. And so it's helping them to understand how, you helping yourself will help your business and help the humans that work with you. For sure.
Yeah. I work with those people as well, as you might imagine. Usually one-on-one, but they come and they're already to the point where they're burned out, and then they don't feel like exercising. They don't feel like doing stuff for themselves. But honestly, like you just said, that's the ticket. Because if they can do those things for themselves, that makes them a better leader for the people they're working with, and it makes their business better too. So
right.
If you can get them to understand that, then they'll go for it.
Yeah. I feel that we're going to see a shift in corporate America as people come back to the offices, and this is not political or anything. It's an opportunity for a reboot of the work environment. I've worked with younger people, millennials, who have struggles, mental and physical struggles because of
Hmm.
the work demands. So it's not just an older person's issue; it's universal in the workplace. And so I'm kind of blending my real estate passion with my health and vitality passion in helping business owners and property owners create healthful environments, and workplace strategies that allow people to still maintain a high level of health and vitality.
Hmm. Of course. Wonderful. So what do you do for fun?
What do I do here for fun? I love fitness. I challenge myself all the time. I love to hike. I love to lift weights. I love to do yoga. Many different sports I enjoy doing. I don't really look at personal life and work life as two different things. I'm the same person, and so I enjoy my work. I don't distinguish between, okay, I'm going to go to work. Now I'm going to be Larry the person. I love my family. I love my kids, my grandkids. I enjoy being with them. I love doing what we're doing right now. I love the conversations that you and I have when we're training. We talk about life, the planet, humanity. So what I enjoy the most is connection, and creating community. And I'm blessed to be surrounded by a bunch of very cool people that are open-hearted and open-minded. And I look at each day as an opportunity to share my passion and to inspire and be inspired.
I love that. So that's a sign, I would say, of someone that's walking their soul path. And, I have been asked that same question, like, well, what do you do for fun? Like, do you ever, and it's just like, this is fun to me, and I'm the same person. I'm always the same person.
That's right.
And, it's kind of funny for people to think that, but it is.
This last year has been an excellent opportunity for me and for many others to kind of refine themselves, right? And to reset priorities, and to look at humanity and the reality in front of us with a different pair of eyes. As you know, I've had a 6-year soul journey, which started when my dad passed. And it's been very enlightening to get in touch with my soul purpose, my soul history, my soul journey, and to continue to be and expand as a spiritual, energetic being. And when we can live in that state of being, then life is easier and there's a lot more joy there.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I admire you for being on your soul path and your soul purpose and getting that, because that takes a pretty significant amount of work and self-understanding. So what in your life led you to understand those things the way that you do and become the well-balanced man, like I said before, because that's not something you're just born with usually.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. And I spent the first 54 years of my life kind of being what I call earthbound and, reality based, and not really devoting time or energy to things that I couldn't see. And then when my dad passed, obviously it was a very traumatic event for me and my family. And it took me about a year to realize that I needed to find a connection. And I went for help. and I went to therapy, and then I started learning about, the universe and spirituality. And then I was blessed to be connected with some people that had very deep spiritual practices that they would share information with me. And I found a personal coach who helped me, who was very intuitive. We still work together. I have someone I call kind of a soul healer that I go work with. So I've practiced this. I've studied. I listen. Experts in this field. You've shared things with me, and it's become school for me. And I've been going to school for about 5 years, quite intensely, finding my soul, finding my path, feeling universal energy, all these things that I thought was woo-woo and out there. And it became this self-fulfilling project of mine. Everything new that I learned connected me just a little bit more, opened me up just a little bit more. And I was craving the information. I feel I was guided. I feel like I was, assisted in this path. And it's the most important thing to me is maintaining that connection, that divine energy, and fulfilling my soul's purpose.
Awesome. What clicked you into that direction, or can you say that?
Well,
was
I
there
can.
an event, or
well,
or was it a slow transition?
So, my dad and I were extremely like-minded. He used to, if I can't see it, it ain't real. And so I adopted that mentality. And it was shortly after my dad had passed that I received signals of physical manifestation of things that didn't make sense logically. And it got me to be curious and to open my eyes to the possibility of connections to spirit in the universe. And my dad knew that he had to create some physical manifestations in order to get my attention. And he did. And I am certain that his energies were the guidance that opened that door wide open for me. And then not long after that, there was and is a connection. We used to watch these TV shows and the psychics and the this and the that. And I would always take it with a very large grain of salt. But until you can feel and experience things yourself in your heart and your soul, that there is a connection to something that's not on this planet in physical form, it's hard. It's hard to do that. And he was persistent in cracking that open for me. And it's been a blessing ever since.
Wow. So this is something when he was embodied, he was the opposite. But then when he crossed over, he saw the other side and
correct.
And he had to let you know.
Yes. 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 And we have always had a connection that went beyond the physical. Even when he was here, there was always that energy between us. And so it doesn't surprise me that we are able to have this gift. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful. It honestly changed my life in the most dramatic way forever.
Awesome. That's cool. So where do you see yourself going from here? Where do you see your efforts or your soul path, your growth, and of course, along with it, your business in helping others? Do you see, you're always innovating and jumping into new stuff. You're a jumper, I guess you told us.
Yeah. Well, as you have said to me, we're just getting started.
Mhm.
right? I think it was a plan for me to fall into health and fitness. I know it was, so that I could live to a very mature age. My current prediction, my current mindset is 140. And so I have plenty of work to do and I have plenty of time to do it. And people kind of make a face when I say 140, but you know as well as anybody that where medicine and science and technology are going, and if you have good genes and you take care of yourself, you know, that potential exists. So what I don't want to necessarily become an influencer as we know today. I do want to influence as many people as I can. My business model presently is very much one-on-one and small group. So I'm only one person, and so that limits, and I have a team of people that work with me, but that limits the numbers. So I'm heading in the corporate world. I want to work with businesses, business owners, where I can get in front of hundreds of people at a time, not a few at a time, as I said before, by affecting a culture shift in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
That is one avenue. The second avenue is, as you mentioned again, with the Willow Project, is working with like-minded businesses and business owners in spreading the word through their networks and contributing to their message, adding wellness and fitness and vitality, that message, with other brands. And there's a lot of really cool brands out there, whether they're selling a product or a service, that are like-minded, that like the notion of, you know, wrapping wellness into their brand image. Mm-hmm. So through direct to businesses and working along other businesses, I want to get in front of thousands of people and share my message. I feel that my voice is unique in that, as you said, I'm a well-balanced individual, and it's not all about fitness and it's not all about nutrition. It's about all these things. That's why in Genesis we have 6 pillars of health.
Tell us about those 6 pillars.
6 pillars. So when I started Genesis, I wanted to build a foundation that addressed this multidisciplined approach. And, you know, we talk about balance, which is not about being able to stand on one foot, although that's a great thing, but it's about creating balance in who you are and how you live your life. We have a pillar called strength, which talks about getting stronger, gaining lean muscle, and all of the many, many benefits of doing so. We have another pillar called move, which talks about movement and mobility. We've got millions and millions of people sitting in a chair for 10, 12 hours a day, and it's just crumbling the muscular skeletal system. So strategies for mobility. We have a pillar called digest, which obviously talks about the gut and nutrition and eating strategy. We have one called rest, which addresses resting your mind, but also sleep and the extreme importance of sleep quality and how to set yourself up to optimize your sleep quality. And lastly, we have one called live, which really addresses the metabolic aspects of the physical body, you know, vitamin, mineral, hormonal, adrenal, thyroid. And so we've got a bit, you know, we employ these pillars in varying degrees of emphasis based on the client and what their needs are. But ultimately, at the end of the day, each one of those pillars are going to be addressed in a very personalized manner in helping our clients, you know, live in their prime.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So that's my goal. I have tons of steam still in the engine. I don't ever anticipate retiring. I imagine at some point in time I will feel I have fulfilled my sole purpose to the point where I can take the foot off the gas a little bit, but I'm always going to, care for my family. I expect I'll have great grandchildren, living to over 100. And so enjoying life, enjoying my family, and always, always, caring for others.
Well, that's the balance part, right?
Right.
And I just want to say about his pillars, even with me, during the interaction that you have with him, it isn't like, oh, you're in school now, take out your book and you're going to learn about this pillar or that pillar. He weaves it into the engagement that you have with him, and that it's like a song or an orchestra. So thank you for that.
Well, and I just want to add that, there's a lot of information coming out, and people tend to be overwhelmed. I don't have time. That seems like too much. People, inertia builds when you start making progress. Go take a walk becomes I like to run, becomes I want to eat better, becomes I want to sleep better. And so I encourage people to just take a small step forward. And it's amazing how quickly that positive snowball momentum builds. And I have some clients that say, I want all of it all at once. Let's do everything. And then there's others that say, I need to start small. It's hard for me to squeeze this in. I'm already busy. And so we make it work. We build programs around their lifestyle and the tempo in which that they can handle.
Mm-hmm. You got to meet the person where they are, just like medicine. So,
yeah.
Well, leave us with some words of wisdom. Not that you haven't already left us with a lot of words of wisdom, but do you have anything special that you want to leave us with?
Life is precious. Living this life is a gift. As cliche as it sounds, each day is a blessing. Each day is an opportunity to learn and to grow as a human and to affect humanity. And I come back to what I said. You can't give what you don't have. And if you're a giving person, you want to give a lot. And so the have is take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your heart. Love others. It has a profound effect on the giver as much as it does the receiver. So I think my message is just that. Take care of yourself in whatever way that works so that you can be the happiest person inside. The physical, mental, emotional, they all feed on each other. And just each day, call somebody, help somebody, pick up the phone. Doing for others is a blessing on both sides. And that's and take care of yourself. That's my message.
You're so right. So tell people how they might get in touch with you, your website, your contact information, so forth.
Great. Thank you. So genesisperformance.net. All the information is there. I pretty much spilled my heart into that website. Every word on there came from me. There's a message from me on there, a personal note. All my contact info is there. I love to just talk to people, just do a consult, no strings attached, no arm twisting, whether you're local or not local. It's a blessing for me to meet new people. And if I can impact them in any way, short-term, long-term, it's an honor for me to do that.
Thank you, Larry.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
You are an inspiration to me and so many others. I've seen what you do when you put your mind to it, and you're a force of nature, and you inspire me, and I enjoy our time together very, very much.
Oh, thank you. It goes both ways. Okay. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
Beautiful. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm Dr. Gail Randall, creator and host of Soul Stories. I just want to thank you for listening to my podcast. I recently got a notification from the International Podcast People, and I was astounded that so many countries are listening to my podcast in the category of alternative health. So thank you, and please continue to listen. I especially want to thank Egypt, Croatia, Japan, and Switzerland, also France and Ireland, because my numbers were quite high there. So keep up the good work and check out my Instagram at Dr. Gail Randall, and particularly check out my Instagram TV, where you can hear me talking about alternative medicine subjects and also see me. It's a very good show, and I think you'll like the subjects. It's on 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday, but it's recorded there, so you can find it there anytime you look. Okay, thanks again. I love you guys. This is Dr. Gail Randall from Soul Stories, and author of Soul Doctoring, Heal Yourself, Heal the Planet. I want to thank Saltology, our sponsor, at bathsalt.com, which fits perfectly into my medicine bag as it, like me, calls upon the ancient wisdom and modern technology to heal, especially with the stresses and ills of our modern times. The Bokek brand uses organic salts combined with organic essential oils sourced from ancient Egypt to provide a perfect remedy for your bathing ritual and healing from modern stresses. The Relief RX brand is a unique one-of-a-kind healing salt that uses organic CBD, treated with a unique emulsification process to create nanoparticles which easily enter the skin to most effectively heal and relieve aching muscles and joints. Whether from chronic inflammation or just a rough workout, this is the perfect healing bath, especially when you add the organic essential oils of neroli, lavender, eucalyptus, or grapefruit. Your body, mind, and soul will be lifted and soothed like never before. Go now to bathsalt.com. I also want to give special thanks to Larry Antonino and Agora Borealis Recording Studio for music and score, and also to closetotheearth.com for IT and computer assistance.